Hey, would you look at that? A wonder weapon that requires skill to use. Welcome to the Beamsmasher. Hello, I'm Mr. L, and today we're going to be taking a look at the DRI-11 Beamsmasher and Black Ops 6 Zombies, a personal favorite of mine, so let's get right into it. Introduced and available only on Terminus, the DRI-11 Beamsmasher is a wonder weapon that was an invention by Dr. Anya Tanovsky on September 7th, 1989. The Beamsmasher comes with 80 shots in a cylinder and 320 shots in reserve. The main ammunition, dubbed Ammunition, is powered by the Amps, which is the same stuff that powers Terminus Island. The Beamsmasher can be found in the mystery box for a cost of 950 points, or a separate side quest that can be built for free. The weapon features a sonic output array which stuns its targets and weakens them to further critical damage. The dual triggers which operate both the sonic output array and the main power beam, and finally an Ethereum capacitance module which is borrowed technology from the Wunderwaffe DG2. The sonic output array uses up more ammunition on the Beamsmasher whilst the main power beam uses less ammo. This is because when dealing with a large horde of zombies, the sonic output array uses up more ammunition so that it can get more coverage on the hordes of zombies so that all the stunned targets can be slowed down and weakened to critical damage. Once the zombies are stunned by the output array, you can fire the main power beam to easy headshot critical kills on the hordes of the undead, which in turn makes it great for zombie crowd control killing. However, you need to use the sonic output array first and the main power beam second, as the main beam will not kill any zombies effectively. So for the love of God, please use the sonic array first and the main power beam second so you can correctly use the Beamsmasher, as it can kill zombies well into the early to late teen rounds. As for the reload speeds in the Beamsmasher, they are comically slow, making Speed Cola flat out mandatory to help cure these horrific reload speeds. Oh, one thing to note is that empty reloads in the Beamsmasher will have a sonic electric cherry style burst that will push back and damage all zombies surrounding you, which is honestly a neat thing about the wonder weapon that is worth mentioning. As long as you have Speed Cola, reloading an empty Beamsmasher is going to be a piece of cake.
Free cake! Free cake!
When it comes to handling against the Manglers and Amalgams on Terminus, the Beamsmasher is solid. As long as you make sure to stun the Manglers and Amalgams with the sonic output array and melt them with the main power beam, you'll have no issue killing the Manglers and Amalgams on Terminus. However, there is one issue. You'll run out of ammunition quite fast when focusing fire on the Manglers and Amalgams. Listen, 320 rounds isn't gonna last you forever, as wonder weapon ammo costs 10 grand from the ammo boxes, which does put the Beamsmasher at a slight disadvantage against the Manglers and Amalgams. I say slight disadvantage as pack punching the wonder weapons is a much better way of getting more ammo rather than spending 10 grand. Speaking of, when you pack punch the DRI-11 Beamsmasher, you get the Supersonic Crusher. The weapon now comes with 120 shots in the cylinder and 480 ammunition in reserve, and the wonder weapon now comes with stronger shots against the zombies, Manglers, and Amalgams. Even triple pack punch, it's just an extension of the base version, which isn't a bad thing, as the Supersonic Crusher can maintain its zombie killing well into the 20s and 30s, which is super good. Hell, the triple pack punch Beamsmasher is fantastic for high rounds. In this gameplay where I went for round 50, the Supersonic Crusher with its sonic output array and main power beam was killing well past the 40s, which is great for high rounders because this wonder weapon requires a lot of skill to use. So once you grab the Beamsmasher, pack punch it immediately. Okay, now let's talk about how to build the Beamsmasher, which is gonna be a bit lengthy, so bear with me on this one. The first step to obtaining the Beamsmasher is to equip the Ammo Mod Deadwire on a bullet-based weapon, activate the Pack Punch lift, and then shoot 5 shot boxes on the map. The first 3 are on the path of this Pack Punch lift. The first one will be in a window when going up on the lift, the second one will be underneath the gateway on a wall to the left where Pack Punch is, the third shot box will be behind the Pack Punch machine on the wall at the top of the lift, the fourth one will be next to Juggernog, and the final one is on the other side of the wall. Once all shock boxes are charged up, the Beamsmasher room will be opened, and you can put Anya Tanovsky out of her misery and grab her key fob. Fun fact, Dr. Tanovsky continued development of the Beamsmasher in secret until her death. With the key fob obtained, activate 3 computers around the map. One outside of Quick Revive on the right coming out of Interrogation, one outside of the control center near where the inclined lift is, and one by the docks before the staircase leading down to the armory. Once the computers are activated, then you can open this briefcase by Elemental Pop and grab the multiphasic resonator and return to the Beamsmasher room and interact with the computer. Be warned that multiple vermin will spawn once the resonator is grabbed. From here, there are 3 options of solving this puzzle. You can either match the X, Y, and Z values on the post-it notes to the symbols on the whiteboard, and then plug it into the equation, for example, or you can pay Peck 5 grand to do it for you. Or you can give him the cooked fish, and he'll give it to you for free and refund it, but this ain't a culinary delight guide, look it up yourself.
And what that means, fish!
Once the correct numbers are inputted onto the computer, make sure to flip around and let the multiphasic resonator calibrate so that it can locate the first island you have to go to. Just make sure you grab the resonator from the top of the computer. You don't want to be that guy who's already at the island but forgot to pick it up, so he has to go back. Finally, to charge the ammunition, grab a boat and sail counterclockwise from the docks to the island with the glowing blue orb. Place the resonator underneath the orb and wait until the orb charges up 2 zombies, which you then need to kill. They will drop a smaller orb that you need to interact with and give back to the bigger orb in order to charge it. Once the orb is charged, the orb will move to another island, this time the one right across from the docks. Pick the multiphasic resonator back up and repeat the process on the second island where the orb will be green. Once completed, the orb will move to the next island past a shipwreck. Repeat charging the orb one final time, pick up the charged ammunition, bring it back to the Beamsmasher room, and just like that, the Beamsmasher will be yours for the taking.
Huh. That actually wasn't that bad.
Holy shit, that was a bit of a long process, but an easy one at that. At the end of the day, the DRI-11 Beamsmasher is an awesome and satisfying wonder weapon to use. It's a great crowd control wonder weapon for the first 20 rounds, has an awesome design that rivals the Ray K84 in terms of pure aesthetic, and is just an awesome wonder weapon to use. When pack-punched, the Supersonic Crusher will give you more power to dispose of the crowds of zombies, and enough ammunition to stun and deal with the Manglers and Amalgams. As long as you have Speed Cola equipped and know how to use the wonder weapon properly, the Beamsmasher will be your go-to wonder weapon for mowing down the hordes on Terminus. Always grab this wonder weapon when it pops up in the mystery box. That concludes my Beamsmasher review. I hope you all love this review, and join me next time, where I'll be taking a look at the PPSH-41. Until then, this is Mr. L, and I will see you all at the tomb.